There are a lot of excellent Crocoblock tutorials here on YouTube, but they all seem to cover only a few plugins at a time. So this got me thinking. If only there was a video covering all the Crocoblock plugins. That would be great, wouldn't it? Because, let's face it, Crocoblock is one of the most powerful solutions when it comes to building dynamic websites. But because it is so powerful, it has lots of features and functionalities, and this can be confusing. Now with Crocoblock, you get all the tools required to take on literally any online project. But just like with actual tools, if you don't know what they are used for or how to use them, then they are of no value to you. They are useless basically. Okay, very good. So today I've decided to cover all the Crocoblock plugins one by one and show you with practical examples how to use each one of them. Now I've divided this video into different chapters so you can easily jump from one plugin to the other, but I would highly recommend that you watch the whole video in one sitting so that you will get the most out of it. Now after watching this video, if you'd like to get Crocoblock or any of their plugins, you can do so by using the very first link in the description. And also guys, clearly there's a lot of work gone into recording and preparing this video, so if you find this helpful, please try this button here. See what it does, who knows, you might like it. Okay, so let's get started. So as you can glean from the name Jet Engine, this is an engine, so this is what is essential to the functioning and the building of your website. If you create a dynamic website, Jet Engine is where you start from. So basically here, as you can see, you have different options, and all of these I'm going to explain to you very quickly now. So first we have post type. So you can create different post type, custom post types. So let's say if you were to create a real estate website, you would start from there. Okay, so what we're going to do basically is to create a new post type. I'm going to show you what it does. Add new, and let's create a property listing, for instance. Okay, so properties, the slug is done automatically, and then we can create meta fields. So basically, when you create a property, add a new property to your website, what will be inside this property? So you need different fields. Obviously, you need to know how many rooms you have, the location, maybe it's a detached or semi-detached house, if you have any amenities attached to it, etc., etc. So let's create a few meta fields. So the first one, we could have maybe location. It'd be important to know where it's located. This is a field. What type of field? Let's say text for now, okay? And then we're gonna just add a few here together, okay? So let's add another one. So we have the location, type of house. Okay, so there you go. So this is text again, maybe bedrooms. Okay, so need to know how many bedrooms there are. So this one will be number, and we're just gonna save it like this for now, okay? So let's add post type. Very good. And as you can see now on the left hand side in our menu section, we have a tab called properties. So these are custom post types. So this is what you create. You can create as many as you want. You could have properties, you can have houses, for instance, okay? And now if we go and visit that page, this is where all our properties will be listed up. So obviously you have none at the moment, but if you wanted to add a new one, just click on this. And as you can see, now we have a custom post. So we have the title, the description here, and then we have location, type of house, and bedroom. So as you can see, you can create custom post types and add as many custom fields as you want within that post, okay? And then once you click publish, you'll have all your properties listed up right here. Now, clearly, if you were to build this for a client, it would look something more like this. You know, you would have the address, the price, property size, year built, heating, accommodation, area size, etc., etc. So as you can see, you have all these different custom fields attached to it, meta fields, you know. Now, obviously, with such an amount of information, you might want to organize this in a specific manner, make it easy for visitors to find what they're looking for. This is where taxonomies come into play. So basically, in the front end, it would look something like this. You know, you have the purpose, location, property type. So you could look for bungalow, maybe a detached house, etc., etc. And then you can filter down your results. So where can you find this? Well, basically here in the backend, it's in the taxonomy section. So taxonomy is basically, it's a way of organizing content and data from your website. So basically, it's just a matter of naming them, you know. So you could have purpose, you can have location, you have property type. So let's select property type here. I'm just going to show you quickly how this works. So as you can see, for this, you're going to select the post type. So this is our properties here, okay? So as you can see, you can select among all these different options, and the one that we're interested in, that's properties. And this is basically the meta field in question. So once you put the rules in place, you can then filter down your content based on different criteria. And now here you can see we also have meta boxes. So what are meta boxes? Meta boxes are additional extra meta fields that you can add to products, that you can add to different posts without having to create custom post types. So this is basically it. So this is an additional feature that's very helpful. So to show you this, let me show you from a different template website here. So this is a bookstore, and basically here if we go to Jet Engine and then we have the meta boxes, as you can see we have a few one here, and we have the product variation meta. So on this website here we have WooCommerce installed, so you could use that to inject meta fields into your WooCommerce products to customize them. So let's click on this here, product variation meta, just to show you what's inside, okay? And as you can see, we have all these different meta fields. So you have the book variation type, the product properties, you have the author, the language, award winner, full size, format, etc., etc. And these now are linked to our products, so our WooCommerce products, okay? So if you go to the product section here and open one of them, you'll understand immediately how this works. So if I open this book here, Alice in Wonderland, for instance, if we scroll down the page, there it is. You have all these custom fields being displayed right here. So if the book variation type, product properties, as you can see, languages, the author name, etc., etc. And with meta boxes, you'll be able to customize and inject custom fields into any post or any type of WooCommerce product. So next we have our listings. So basically from here, this is where you're going to design all the layout, all the sections from your front end. So basically you have full control of what your website will look like in the front end. So let's go back to our front end here, have a quick look. So this is our search result. And as you can see, all these different properties being listed up. And let me show you how this works. So basically, if we go back here, we have the listing properties inline for our account. So let's edit this with Elementor. And as you can see here, this is basically what our front end looks like. So every section here is being designed from the back end and using Elementor. So it's an easy drag and drop. You have full control over it. You can design it the way you want. And this will repeat obviously dynamically in the front end. As you can see, of all the properties being listed. Now, if you click on any of them, it will open the single page. And this again is another template that you can create, as you can see, so you can, it's very, very flexible, fully comprehensive, and you have full control over the outcome of your website. And last part of the Jet Engine section is the query list. So you can create queries here to show in the front end. So depending on what sort of rules you're going to put in place. So as you can see, we have one here that says query by post of the current user. So if we click on this, what does this one do? Well, it's going to apply this to the properties that are published. And as you can see, there's a small dot next to the sections that have been amended. So we have pagination here. It will display only 3 per page. And the author should be the current user ID. And this is where you can limit the amount of information being displayed in the front end based on user ID and role as well, So this is basically the query builder as well that will help you narrow down a certain amount of information. Jet Search is a very powerful search plugin that you can install on any WordPress or WooCommerce website. And this will help you to search through blog, pages, any type of content, including products. So let's take our example here. So we have an e-commerce website with a ladies' clothing, as you can see. And maybe you want to add a search feature right here on top in your header section, okay? So let's do this together. This will work for a page or maybe your sidebar, but let's insert this in our menu section. So for this, we're going to click on top here and we are going to edit our header section. So let's open this in a new tab. So there you go. So this is our header section. And now let's add our search feature. So for this, we're going to look for Ajax. And Ajax search, so drag and drop it maybe right here, okay, just like that. And now we can configure this. So let's have a quick look at the products here. So as you can see, we have one that's cashmere sweater. So let's go and look for a sweater maybe. And as you can see, this is already working with all the sweaters being displayed. So this is how easily you can add a search feature to your website. But obviously now everything here is customizable. So you can display the submit button, which is this one basically, with the small magnifying glass. If you don't have it, that means it will be Ajax powered. It will search automatically without doing anything, which is a very user-friendly experience, to be honest. And then you can also, depending on your circumstances, you can show the categories as well, and you can have it responsive on mobiles as well. So you have the search query here. That's a very handy one. You can include and exclude a few different terms. So for instance, maybe you have a test product or something like this you don't want to show. You might want to exclude that as well. And then we have the result area. So if I type here again, sweater, as you can see, we have our image here, the title and a description. So this one is limited to 30 characters, as you can see, but maybe we can increase that or limit that to a shorter amount, maybe 15. Now, if we search for sweater again, as you can see, our description now is much shorter. So this is fully customizable again. Now you can show the price immediately from here, even the product rating. So let's go again here and look for sweaters. There you go. Now you have the price immediately being displayed here. And all of these, obviously, the layout and the font, the color and all that is fully customizable. Now you can go into the styling features here and customize everything you want based on your own personal preferences. Okay, so next we have our smart filters. So basically, let's go back to our front end. So clearly, once you have a certain amount of information, you might want to filter down the information based on certain criteria. So how do you set this up? Very simply, as you can see here, we have housing type, by bedrooms, by price range, etc., etc. So let's discover the price range here. So all you have to do basically is to add new and create a new one. So I'm just going to edit this one here, for now, okay? And from here, you're going to put in your title. You're going to insert the label. So as you can see, price range, price range. So the label basically is what you see in the front end. As you can see here, it says price range, and that's basically it, okay? And what type of filter is this? So we have a range here, but you can select different things. So you could have a date, or you can radio button, checklist. So the difference between radio button and checklist and checkboxes, sorry, is that they both offer multiple choices, but radio you can only select one, and checkboxes you can select multiple items. You have ratings, etc., etc. So let's go with range at the moment, you know, and then you can put the prefix value and then a minimum value, maximum value, and this will be based obviously on the content in the database. So if the cheapest property is, let's say, $5,000, we can start at 1,000 anyways, up to 2 million, and that's basically it. So what is the query variable here? So we need to base this on something. So for this, we need to go and have a look at our properties already again. So let's open this in a new tab and let's open one of them. And if we scroll down, as you can see here, we have the price section and we have the name. So as you can see, this item here, so this is the field that we are searching through, okay? And if we go back here, as you can see, this is the one here, price. Now you can select this for multiple fields, in which case you can copy another one. So you could have property size, you can have year built, etc., etc. So this is basically how you can apply your filter based on different criteria, okay? And in the front end, it looks something like this. You have price range, and then you can use the slider here to move left or right. And let's say you're looking for property maybe from 100,000 maybe right up to maybe 250, because that's your budget, maybe 1 million, and that's basically it. And I will narrow down the searches. It will only show the properties up to a certain price. With WooBuilder, you can create a unique experience in the front end for your visitors, for your potential customers. So basically, by default, WooCommerce is always the same on all the different websites. If you want to provide your visitors with a unique experience, you can use WooBuilder for this. So let me show you an example here, a few examples, okay? So if you go into the shorts section here, and if I click on this one, you will see we have our main image here and then a few dots here by the side. So you can go from one image to the other. So this is one type, for instance, you know. Now let's go back up. And now if we select shorts again, but this time I'm going to open this one. As you can see, we have our main image right here, and just underneath a few different images that are staggered. As you can see, very nice effect as well. Now let's go back here and let's select any other, maybe outerwear, and let's click on this one. And as you can see, the layout here is slightly different again. We have 4 different images here and the main one right there. And again, you can add anything you want, any description, and also cross-reference, upsells, etc., etc. Now let me show you how you can create your landing pages just like this, or the product pages yourself. So basically for this, we go to Crocoblock. we go to Woo Page Builder, and there you go. Here we have all our different templates. So as you can see, we have templates for the single page, my account page, shop in list mode, in grid mode. We have the upsell as well, we have the cart, we have the cross-sell, we have the checkout page, and everything is here, even the empty cart, okay? And the category section. So basically for each and every page of your website, you can customize it the way you want. So let's have a quick look here. So this one is called Single Product Default. So let's open this one. There you go. So edit with Elementor. I'm going to open this in a new tab. So clearly here we are using a ready-made template, but if you were to build this for yourself, you would start from scratch. So you would add your containers here, all your different sections, and you can start adding elements. So as you can see, all the Jet WooBuilder's elements are right here by the side. And as you can see, we have category grid, a product list, taxonomy title, single attributes, and then you can simply drag and drop them on your page to create your landing page, maybe a checkout page, product page, a category page, etc., etc. So if we click on any of those items, as you will see here, if I click on this one, for instance, this one is the single add to cart, and every aspect of it is fully customizable and all the sections are the same. So if I click on the price here, as you can see, we have this font here. Maybe you want it to be a bit bigger, so you can change the font size altogether. Maybe you want to change the font weight, maybe make it thicker, just like this, you know, and you can even change the color altogether, you know. So again, this is fully customizable start to finish. And then you can do the same with all your pages. So it could be your single product page, it could be your shop page, it could be your cart, it could be your checkout page. And once you have all these pages created and customized, then you can assign them all together to your WooCommerce installation here. So if we go to WooCommerce now, we go into the settings. As you can see, normally you would assign your pages in the advanced section here. So if you go to advanced, normally this is where you would select your landing pages. But this time, because we have custom templates, you would go to Jet WooBuilder. And as you can see here, you can select all your internal pages, all your templates that you want to use. So for instance, if you wanted to use for the shopping cart, you use this specific template. For the checkout, you're going to use this specific template, and so on and so on. And this way, you will provide your visitors with a very unique experience. Now, in line with Jet WooBuilder, we have Jet Product Gallery. So this is basically to display all your images. As you can see, we have the Woo product, custom post type, manual upload, and also video. So let's go back to our Elementor page. Now, as you can see immediately here, we have a video and then a few different images. So the video, to be honest, that's very compelling, is it, as a selling marketing tool. So if you click on this now, as you can see, this is a gallery slider. So there are different options here. So let's go back to our Crocoblock page. So as you can see, you have gallery slider, gallery grid, anchor navigation, product images. So you can tweak this around the way you want, literally, you know. And again, this is a very nice feature, a very powerful marketing tool to increase your sales and conversion rate. And next in our WooCommerce series is Jet Compare and Wishlist. So this is a very simple feature. That's basically what it is, you know. So if we go to our website here, as you can see with this one, this is Compare and this is Wishlist. So how can you add this to your menu section? All you have to do is just to edit your header, you know. So click on this. Very good. So as you can see, we have a menu section here. And if I click on this one, this is a compare button and this one is a wishlist button. So now if you don't have them there already, how can you find them? Well, if you look through all the different elements, all the different widgets, if you type in compare, here they are, okay? And if you want wishlist, here they are. You have 3 of each type, you know. So if you go back to our Crocoblock page here, as you can see, here they are, say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. So 3 different variations of each. So 3 widgets for the wish list and 3 for the compare feature. And what's the finished result? Well, it's very simple. If you add, for instance, 3 items of clothing, it will display like this as a table. Very easy to compare. And it's the same with a different type of items, obviously, you know. Now, everything else, it's basically the same as on any other website. So this is a very simple feature. There's no need to cover this any further. So now we have Jet Reviews. So based on the name, you can glean it from the context. Again, this is just basically to leave reviews on your website. And this is a fully managed plugin. So basically, if you go to the front end here, we have a tour and adventure, travel basically website here. and you'd like to know what people think of this location here. Okay, so if we click on this, as you can see, this one comes with a 5-star, and if we scroll down the page, you can see the reviews that visitors have left from these premises. Okay, so you can see best hotel, very, very cool, etc., etc. And then you can write your own review yourself if you are registered on the website. And if you're logged in as the admin, you can leave a comment immediately and reply to this one here, to the person who left you a comment. So basically, if you go to the backend here, we have a quick overview of all your reviews. As you can see, we have 16 reviews. They've all been approved. You have 2 comments, etc., etc. So this is nice because it's going to give you a graph and you have a complete overview of what's happening. So if you scroll down the page, as you can see, you have all these different tabs here. So you have pages, landing pages, forms. So this can be broken down into different sections, again, which will give you a bit more control even over everything. And then if we click on all reviews here, you can have all the reviews. You can see them all in the one page, okay? And from here, you can take different types of actions. So you can approve it, you can unapprove, you can edit, or you can scrap it all together. You can delete it, you know, and then you have the star ratings, etc., etc. So this is basically what it is in a nutshell, is to post reviews and for you to comment and say thank you to your visitors. Next, we have the Jet Form Builder. So as you can glean from its name, is to create forms. So you can create simple forms and more comprehensive, more complex forms as well. So as you can see, we can create a contact form, which is just fetching information and sending you an email. But you can create more complex forms as well with advanced features. For instance, you can have a login form, you can have a registration form, in which case these will be linked immediately to the WordPress core and also your WooCommerce installation if you create users as well. So you can link all of this immediately to your WordPress installation. So just to give you an example here, if we click on Contact Us, if we open this, and as you can see here, we're all at different fields. So basically here you have your email address, the phone number, and the message. So you can add an ID, obviously, you know, and the type of field. And by the side here, if we go to Post Submit Action, you can define what will happen if someone clicks the Submit button. So this one obviously is the contact form. What you're going to do, you're going to send an email, and then you can define where you're going to send it. So this is, if you can click on the pencil, then you can edit the action itself. And as you can see, the action is to use this field, which is find your email, and then you're going to send the message. And this message can be customized as well. So this is very, very comprehensive indeed. Now let me show you the other forms. So if we go back now to the forms themselves, as you can see with login and registration. So if you wanted to create a login or registration form, you can link that directly to the WooCommerce and WordPress features, okay? So for registration forms, you need obviously to have at least an email address and a password, and you'll have to confirm the password as well at registration just to make sure that they don't get it wrong. And obviously at submit here, as you can see, the action is to register the user. So you can register user, you can log in, you can update the user. You can also have an external call hook and a call webhook, and you can also redirect to a specific page. Now you can have multiple actions as well. So for instance, you could register your customers, so create a registration, and you can have multiple actions. So you could also have redirect to a page. So that's basically what we have here. As you can see, we can register, and then when it's registered, you will redirect to a page. So it could be a confirmation page like, oh, thank you for registering on our website. Please follow these few tips, you know. So that's basically it, you know. Now, when you create your form, you can add different fields. So let me show you a few specific fields that they have. So you click on the plus sign here to add your blocks. And then let's scroll down the page. Let's locate this. So we have the Jet Form field. So these are all the fields that you can use. So some of them are absolutely amazing. For instance, this one is the calculated field. So you can use different fields and then calculate the outcome, which is very handy. You also have conditional block. So basically, depending on the answer or the action taken, you can redirect them to a specific section of that form. So for instance, if someone selected option A, you might bring them to question 3. If they answered question B, answer B, they might be redirected to question 6, etc., etc., which is absolutely amazing. And then you have the form break as well. So if your form is too long, If you think that they'll have to scroll on forever and ever, you might break this down in different pages, different chapters. And in this case, if you do so, if you use the form break, you can also have the progress bar. So it can show on top where they are in the process. So page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4. And this way it's easy for your visitors to know exactly where they are in the process. So Crocoblock claimed that JetBlog is the best blog plugin for Elementor. And you know what? I truly believe that as well, because you can provide your visitors with a unique experience. You can customize every aspect of it and it will look beautiful. So this is made out of 6 different widgets. So just to give you an example here, we have a demo website here. So this is a blog that's been created using JetBlog. And as you can see, it looks absolutely amazing. So you have all different blogs here being displayed automatically and dynamically, of course. You have all the different sections here. So if you were to click on this, it would bring you immediately to this specific category. And then you can break this down. You could have a slider, another one here as well. You can go from one article to the other. You can see the top news. You have the sidebar here also with shortcuts. You have an advertisement section here with an image. And you also have maybe recent news. You can break this down in different sections. So it could be football, it could be cycling, it could be a motocross, it could be a bodybuilding, etc. And so on and so on. So basically this is using one specific plugin, which is JetBlog. And I'm going to show you how you can configure this in the back end. So let's go to our WordPress dashboard and we go to the pages. So I'm going to show you just with the home page here, but this is the same with any internal pages that you're going to create for your blog. So let's edit this with Elementor. And this works the exact same way basically as creating a page using Elementor. So this one is ready-made, but you would normally drag and drop your elements here on your page. So this one here is called Smart Post Tiles. And as you can see, the first option available is to choose the layout. So at the moment we have one big image and 4 small ones, but you can change that very easily. Maybe you prefer this layout, 2 small ones on the left, 2 small ones on the right, and a big one in the middle. Or maybe you prefer the way it was. As you can see, you have different layouts. You can feel free to choose any of those, the one that you prefer basically, you know. So if we scroll down the page now, if you click on this one here, again, this is also Smart Post Tiles, but this one here is slightly different. As you can see, this one is Smart Post List. And now by the side here, we have another one yet again. So if I click on this one is also Smart Post List. You see? So basically you can use all of these different widgets to configure your landing page. So let's go back to our heading section here, just to show you very quickly. Now all of these Smart Post tiles work the same way, you know, so all the configuration and everything is similar to all of them. So you can customize all these different items, but I'm going to show you how you can fetch the information, where you get it from. Because you can break this down into different sections, different categories. And as you can see, this is the same plugin that's used throughout our page, but it's displaying different types of content. So you go into the query and controls right here, and then you define which post you want to use. So as you can see, for this, we're going to use post, but you could also maybe show products. If you have a WooCommerce website, you can show different pages, maybe services and themes as well. If you have different custom post types, you can also use them and display them in on your page. So from here, we're going to use the categories, obviously, you know, because this is a blog post. So we're going to display them by categories. This is how you break this down. And then which category do you want to display? As you can see at the moment, we have basketball here, but you can select another one. For instance, let's select football, okay? And as you can see now, it is displaying posts related to football. And then you can break this down into different sections. So basically, if we scroll down our page, that's what they've done here, you know. So if we click on this one here, it is also a Smart Post Tiles. But if you scroll down the page, you go into the query section. As you can see, this one is taken from the section Extreme. And this is how you can display different types of categories on the same page using the same widget. And it's the same principle with this one here. So this one is called Smart Post List. And as you can see, you have 2 different ones here. This one and this one is the same plugin, but the layout is different again, you know, and the content, of course. So this is basically how you can customize fully the experience of your visitors using blog posts. Okay, so the very first thing you need to do with Jet Appointment is to click on Setup. So you need to set this up first. So here we have Service Post Type and also Add Provider. So basically with this plugin here, you can book an appointment. So you can book a service on its own, or you can book a service with a specific service provider. And as you can see, we need to select the service post type and we have a drop-down menu. So before we can do so, we have to create our service post types and also add our providers. And for this, we need to use Jet Engine. So if you go to Jet Engine post types, you can create this. So I'm not going to explain this now. I've covered this already at the start of the video. So you can feel free to go back to Jet Engine for this. But once you have them up and running, you will have this in the backend. And once you have your custom post type set up, it will look something like this. So as you can see by the side, we have two additional tabs, Services and Team, and then you can select them here from the drop-down menu. And this is a very handy feature, you know, because you can use this and tweak it around based on the business model that you run. Because here you can have maybe just services on its own, but you can also have a provider. So this would work, for instance, for a dental practice with multiple employees, staff members, or maybe a beauty salon where you provide different types of services and you have different team members looking after each of those services. And once you have these selected, you can go and add them in your services and team section. So if you go into services here, as you can see, this is for a beauty salon. As you can see, you have all these different types of services, you know. So you have detox and all these things, you know, peeling and face care, etc., etc. And these services are being provided by different staff members. As you can see, you have Hannah here, Ellie, Triana, Anna, and so on. So this is basically how this works. And now if we go back to our settings here, you can set up your working hours. So this is very simple here and very comprehensive as well. You have the time format, the schedule type. So you can select a slot, time picker, or recurring. So that's very helpful because a slot basically would say if your appointments are usually half an hour, they're all half an hour, maybe your barbershop and you know a haircut doesn't take more than half an hour, you can use this. You can have a time picker, maybe for a session like maybe yoga session or something like this. And recurring would be if your appointment would be set every 2 weeks or every month, you can use that as well. So as you can see, you have the duration here and you also have a buffer time before and after. So this might be handy. Maybe you need to tidy up the place before you take on the next customer and something like this. Maybe like a dental practice, maybe you have to disinfect your tools, etc., etc. And then you have the work hours. Obviously, you're going to say when are you open for business on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then you can set the hours, obviously. And maybe you have a few days off. You can set them up here as well. If you maybe for Christmas or maybe Easter and things like this, you know. And then your working days. So set all the days available and you can have this as a general rule for everything else. So this is basically everything for the appointment now. Now another very handy feature is in the general settings here, you can also manage the capacity. So as you can see here, you can also have the capacity counter. If you enable those, for instance, this would work if you run, for instance, I don't know, spin classes. You have only 12 bikes. You can only take on 12 people at a time. This would be a handy feature as well for you. So once they start coming in and booking appointments online, they will all show up in this section here. And you can have a quick overview of your work schedule. Jet Booking is truly a multi-purpose booking plugin. As you can see, you can use this for travel agencies, car rental, house booking, bike rental, hotel booking, equipment rental, and even property rental. But for this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to use this for booking a room in a hotel, which is one of them, obviously, you know, but the principle remains the same, okay? So let me show you how this works. So for hotel booking, you would need to select a room. So let's select one here, then you're checking date, checkout dates. So let's select 2 dates here. And then you would need to select as well how many guests are allowed in that room, okay? And then you check availability. It will query the database and it will show you what's available based on those criteria. So there you go. Now we can see that this one is available. Now let me show you how you can set this up in the backend. So let's go back to our WordPress dashboard. And the first thing that we need to do is to create rooms. So as you can see, this is a custom post type again. So we will need to use Jet Engine. So for Jet Engine, we go into the Jet Engine section here and we need to create post types. So again, I'm not going to cover the whole full length how to do so. Please refer back to the Jet Engine plugin in this video. But I'm just going to show you what's inside and what fields were created. So if we click on the room here. As you can see, with area, rate, satellite image, guest, best, beds, bathroom, free parking, etc., etc. So please again refer back to the Jet Engine plugin earlier on in this video. And then basically after this, if you go to our room section here and open any of them, this is where you're going to create all your rooms. So we have a suite, we have the junior suite, standard room, eco room. So let's open the suite here. And as you can see, all these custom fields are located right there. So you have the area, rate, satellite image, guest, beds, bathroom, free parking, etc., etc. And the beauty of this is that these are activated using a toggle switch. So you don't have to type anything. All you have to do is just to enable them. So you have access to the gym with this one. All you have to do is click on it, and there you go. You have access to the elevator as well. There you go. And after this, you can click update, and that's basically it. Okay. Now again, if we go back to the front end, as you can see, this is our result page. So we have to display all these results. So how does this work? Well, from one side, we have to display the listing. So for this, we go to Jet Engine, listings, and this is where we can design our landing page. So as you can see, if we go back to the front end, we have listing one here. So this is the one that we need to edit, and we can edit this with Elementor. And there you go. So as you can see, this is exactly the same as what we have here in the front end. Obviously, this is a different room, but the layout is the exact same. As you can see, with the title, the price, and this is the title, the price, the image on the left-hand side, the image on the left-hand side, and you can easily customize the layout here using any of those Elementor widgets. Okay, so let's go back to our WordPress dashboard. And now that we have everything in place, let me show you how you can create your booking form here and check availability. So for this, we go back to our WordPress dashboard, and we're going to go to Smart Filters. So as you can see, we have 3 of them that were created already. We have room type, guest, and check-in. So let's go back to the front end. We have room type, check-in, and guest. So this is divided in 3 different sections, so 3 different filters. So let me show you how you can set up one of them. So the room type, for instance. There you go. So we have your label and then the type of filter. So what type of filter is this? This is a select. So there's a drop-down menu. And based on what? On taxonomies. So taxonomies, again, it's a fancy word just to say name. So this is based on the name. It's going to display the name. Okay. So if you go to rooms here, remember we had a few different types of rooms. If we go back to the front end, as you can see, we'll display the name. So junior suite, standard, or suite. Okay. And it works the exact same way with the other filters. And once you've created all your filters, you can then create your home page. So let's go to pages, all pages. So this is our home page. So let's open this in a new tab. Okay, very good. So as you can see, we have the room type, check-in, check-out, and the guest. So here, if you click on this, this is basically a widget. And this one is called Select Filter. So this is a Crocoblock widget that's built into Elementor that will allow you to link this to your filters using Jet Engine. And here you can select the filter that you want to use for this action here, which is room type. So basically this is the one here. So if you click on the next one here, this one, again, date range filter. Again, this is a filter. Which type of filter do you want to use? Check-in. So this is basically the other one here that we had set up, okay? And then you have the same with guest. So if we click on this, again, select filter. And this one is the guest filter. And then next we have the check availability button, which is the apply button. As you can see, this is linked to Jet Engine again. And we have the redirect path. So this one is your domain name / and then results in this case. And if we have a quick look here, as you can see in the front end, this is exactly where it is. So results, okay? And this is where all the available rooms will be listed. And then now we can click on see room to book it. So with all the details of the room, as you can see, very nicely done, you know, and then click on book now. And now we have a booking form. So where can you create this form and how can you link it to everything else? Well, we go back to our WordPress dashboard and clearly this is a form. So we go to Jet Form Builder. Let's click on this. And as you can see, this is where it is, simple single page booking form. So let's edit this and let's have a look at what's inside. Very good. So as you can see, we have the room type, check-in date, checkout date, guest, etc., etc. So everything is right here. So exactly the same as we have it in the front end. And then if you look in the post submit action, as you can see, this one is called apartment booking, which is a customized one. And if you look at the pencil here and open this, you will see that all these different fields will be added to the database. And this is how you can create a custom booking form. And then finally, let's go back to our WordPress dashboard. Let me show you where all your bookings will go. So Jet Bookings, if you click on this, this is where all your bookings will be listed. And obviously a very nice feature. Again, let me show you very quickly. If you go into the settings here, if you go into the advanced mode, here you can enable iCal synchronization. So that's a very handy feature, especially if you advertise your hotel or whatever service you provide on maybe booking.com, Airbnb, or any of those or online websites. You know, you can synchronize this with their database. So if there's a booking on your website or the other website, you can synchronize all these different platforms in the one place. So with Jet Menu, you can build beautiful custom mega menus, and the possibilities are literally unlimited. So as you can see here, you can build beautiful menus like this one here, but you can also use this for stores, maybe for multimedia purposes, even insert a contact form if you wanted to, for your blog. You can insert any dynamic content like related products, upsells, and also insert custom templates. So let me show you how you can do this now from the back end. So let's take our example here. So as you can see, if you hover on top, you have all these different sections, and all of these are customizable. So this one has 3 different images here with call to action button and then a few different links. This one is slightly different, but again, you can customize this fully to fit your own requirements. So let me show you now how this works from the back end. So let's go back to our WordPress dashboard. And from here, we're going to go to appearance and then menus like you would normally do in WordPress to create your menu section. But now there's a slight difference. So as you can see, this is our menu. So we have shop, women, man, sale, pages. So let's go to the front end. As you can see, shop, women, man, sale, pages. Okay, so this is the exact same. Now the only difference is by the side, you can see this one has the mega menu activated, this one as well. And if you go back to the home page here, you can see this is exactly it. So this is a mega menu, this one is a mega menu, and these are regular ones, okay? So this is how it works, generally speaking. Now let's click on one of them. So we have the man here, okay? So we have the mega menu activated. If you click on settings, it will open a pop-up window, and as you can see, the mega menu is enabled, okay? So this is the toggle switch is on, and then we can edit its content. So if you click on this, it will open an Elementor page within a pop-up window. There you go. And as you can see from here, you can design your menu from here. So basically you have to create a main section as this one, and then you can insert different columns and then create your different elements. Or if you're using the new Elementor version, you can insert your containers, obviously, you know, so whichever way you prefer. So as you can see, this one is an image. If I click on it, there you go. And if I click on this item here, this is a button. So you will redirect this to a specific page on your website. And then you would do the exact same with the other two, obviously, you know. So what do we have here? So we have 2 different columns. We have a title here. So this is a heading. And then we have a menu section. So you can see here, this one is a vertical mega menu. And we've selected which menu we want to display. So this one is called custom submenu. And let's click on this one here. And this one is called custom submenu 2. Okay. So if we close this, now where are those located? Let me show you. Okay. So if you close this all together, we go back to our main menu section of the menus. Okay. And we're going to select our menu here. You can see we have custom submenu and custom submenu 2. So if you click on this one, select. This is where you will create all those different links. So basically you would drag and drop here from your WooCommerce sections and drag them here and basically position here in the order that you'd like to display them. So if you go back to the front page here, as you can see, this one is hoodies, jacket, jeans. Let's go back here. So man, hoodies, jacket, jeans. Okay. So in our case here, these are all WooCommerce sections or tags. So clearly they're not displayed here by default. So let me show you a little trick very quickly. So if you click on the screen option here on top, you have to enable them basically. As you can see, you have product categories and product tags, and then you can close this. And now if you go back by the side, you can see we now have product categories and product tags. So these are your WooCommerce categories, and these are your WooCommerce tags, and clearly these are tags that are being used here, okay? So then you can add as many as you want. All you have to do is just to add them to the menu, and that's you done. And don't forget to save, obviously, you know. So this is how you can create that. Now let's go back to our main menu here. So we go to the main menu, select. Very good. And as you can see, this one is not a mega menu. So how do you set this up from scratch? How do you create your own mega menu from scratch? So let's say you have an item here. All you have to do is click on settings. Again, you enable it and then edit mega content. Very good. And now from here, you can design anything you want. So you can start from scratch, basically, okay? So you could create this, and let's say you want maybe 2 sections like this, okay? A small one and a bigger one. In the bigger one, you're going to insert maybe an image. So let's do this. There you go. Let's select an image here. So maybe this one here, so insert, and then you can add anything you want here. So it could be a menu or whatever, you know. So let's select menu here together. So let's add this one here, maybe a vertical menu, just like this, okay? And then you can select the menu itself. So let's go with custom submenu. There you go. And as you can see, this is how you can easily design a custom mega menu for your website. So now all you have to do is basically click update. Close the pop-up window, click save here. Don't forget to click save, very important. And now if we go back to the front end and refresh your page, normally everything going well. There you go. Now, as you can see, our new menu section is showing up on our website. JetBlock is a very handy plugin to design fantastic looking header and footer sections. So for this, let me show you very quickly. So we go back to our WordPress dashboard. We go to Crocoblock, theme, templates, and let's open the header section, for instance. And we're going to open the one that's for the entire website. So edit with Elementor. So basically from here, you can simply scroll down all the different widgets and you will find a section that's called JetBlocks. There it is. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so 10 different elements that you can use. And these are mainly intended for creating footer section and header section. So as you can see, we have the site logo, we have the navigation menu, registration form, a search feature. So all of these are normally what you would insert in your header section. And obviously you also have all the essentials, WooCommerce essentials like shopping cart. And then all you have to do basically is to drag and drop any of those widgets on your page if you wanted to insert that, obviously, you know. And then clearly you can customize every aspect of each widget for your header section and your footer section. So Jet Element is a pretty self-explanatory one. It's basically elements that you can add to Elementor to jazz up your pages. As you can see, you have countdown timer, testimonials, team member, pricing table, price list, slider, etc., etc. There's quite a few, you know. So basically for this, all you have to do is go to your WordPress dashboard, create a page. So I'm just going to edit this one here. And now if you scroll down all the different widgets here, you will find a section that's called Jet Elements. There it is. And as you can see, you have all these different widgets that you can add. So you have animated text, banners, logo, showcase, etc., etc. And all you have to do is just drag and drop them on your page. So let's use the animated text here. It's a very nice one, by the way. So there you go. So as you can see, you have the text before, the text after. So let us and your text. And in between, you can have the animated text. So as you can see, it's going to jump from one to the other. So I have animate and create. So it's a very nice one. And again, you have a few of them, obviously, you know, and this will help you to jazz up your page and make it very unique and very professional looking. So with Jet tabs, you can easily organize the content on your website, make it easy to digest for your visitors. So you can use tabs, toggles, and accordion blocks, you know. So if you scroll down the page a little bit, as you can see, there's 4 different types. You have switcher, Elementor tabs, Elementor accordion. Now those 3 here are usually built in within Elementor, so these are pretty usual, I would say, you know. The one that's very nice here is the switcher one. So I'm just going to show you this one here, okay? So if you scroll down the page, as you can see, you could have a pricing table, monthly or yearly prices, something like this, okay? If you scroll down the page, you could have limited or unlimited package. So that's basically it. So it works with the toggle switch. It's very easy for your visitors to digest information. So let me show you how you can create this. So you can use multiple variations. You can create literally anything with this. So let's create one page together here as an example. So for instance, we could have on one side the login form and on the other one, the registration form, all in the one place. Okay, so let's create a new page together. So let's call this login registration. Okay, so let's publish. And now we can edit with Elementor. So there you go. And now we can add our switcher. Okay, so switch, there you go. So this is one, drag and drop. Very good. So with this one, you have disabled or enabled. Okay, so it's 1 or 2. So one or the other. So let's select one. One is going to be for register. just change the name like this. And the other one is login. Okay, very good. So this is how you can give your visitors the choice between two different options. So let's go to the disable one here. And as you can see, we have a template. So you can select a template or you can use the WordPress editor. So let's use the editor for now, okay? So this is the content for, let's say, register, okay? And then we'll do the same here. So we're gonna use the editor here and content for login, okay? Now, if we go and have a look here, if I click on login, you can see tab item content for login, register. This is the content for register. So this is one way to do it, but you might want to use a template to make it even more beautiful, obviously, you know, in which case you can select templates. So there's two of them created here already. So let's select my account. So this one here we said is the login. So let's select login. And now we go to disable. We do the same template and I select my registration form. This is the one here. There you go. So as you can see here, if you click on register, you'll have the registration form. And if you go to login, you'll have the login form. So basically in the backend, you can create any template you want and then import them right here into this switcher feature. And those two templates that we used here were created using Jet WooBuilder. So you can refer back to this section in this video if you wanted to see how we created them. So JetTrick is a series of different widgets for Elementor that will allow you to have tooltips and hotspots as well that you can add. So basically it's those 8 different elements here. So we're just going to cover 2 of them. We're going to cover the tooltips and the hotspot, which is the most popular one. So for this, let's go back to our WordPress dashboard. From here, we're going to go to pages and we're going to create a new page. So add new. So let's call this one test and then let's edit with Elementor. And now if we scroll down the page here, let's find our different elements. So let's carry on. There it is. As you can see, this is part of Jet Elements and we have hotspots and we also unfold and read more. So let's use the hotspot for now. Okay, so we just drag and drop this on our page. Very good. So the first thing that we need is to add an image. You cannot add hotspots on an image. You need an image, obviously, you know. So let's click on this. And I have one here that's ready. So this is a school campus. And maybe you want to highlight all the different areas. So you have tennis court, you have football pitch, you might have reception here and the dorms at the back, okay? So how can you do this? So we have the hotspots here. So we need to take care of our main button here. So let's click on this and let's open the first item. So you add multiple items, obviously, you know, you can add multiple ones. So I'm just going to show you with one first. So let's add this. So we have the content. So as you can see, you have the plus sign and the description. So let's call this, let's say football pitch, okay? Now, if I hover on top, as you can see, we have the small tooltip bubble, the info bubble showing up, football pitch. Now you can add something here as well. So let me try with 3 X's here. So as you can see, next to the plus sign, you have text as well. So this is really up to you if you want text or not in this section or not. So basically, that's how it works. And then we can change the position. So now you want to have this one here right on top of that football pitch. So let's bring this to the left a little bit. So let's try 36 maybe, no, a bit more, 25. Okay, so this is basically the percentage where of your width here, okay? So this is 21%, that's it. And then vertically the same. So let's bring this up a little bit. So there you go, and again, you can add as many as you want. And then you have the tooltip here. So basically, if you hover on top, this info bubble here that shows on top, you can decide whether or not you want to show it all the time. So this will always be there, you know. And if you want to show it, where do you want to show it? On top, at the bottom, on the right-hand side, etc., etc. And then you also have all the animation. So it's fully customizable and very handy indeed. Now again, this is fully customizable. As you can see, with a plus sign at the moment, but you can change the icon for something else. So if you click on this, you can select among this full media library. So as you can see, you could add something else. So let's say if you wanted to have maybe a shopping cart here, insert. As you can see now, you have a shopping cart, and then you could altogether remove it. So nothing, and then add text. So you could have maybe 1, for instance, you know. If you wanted people to go from one to the other, you could have 1 here, 2 there, 3 and 4 and so on. So if it's a treasure map, for instance, or something like this, you know, I don't know. And then you can customize the hotspot itself. So if you go into style, you can change the color. You You can change the font size and literally everything. And if you don't want it to be squarish like this, you can add a border radius maybe of 50 and then it'd be rounded shape then, you know. So again, this is fully customizable. With Jet Grid Builder, you can design very quirky pages actually, and you can let your creativity run freely. So as you can see here, basically we have a grid system. You have all these different images, resize them just like that. You can move them around. As you can see, I can make this one maybe a bit smaller, and if I think, this one should be here, and maybe this one here, and I can move that one around, you can easily move them around and basically design this the way you want it. So it's a very amazing feature, isn't it? Now let me show you how you can use this and install this in the backend. So as part of our Jet plugin series, this is not installed by default. I don't know, maybe I've missed something, but it wasn't for me. So apparently you have to install this plugin. It's an additional plugin. So if you go into plugins and then add new, and then in the search box, you look for Jet Grid Builder. So apparently this is a free plugin. So maybe this is why you have to install it as an additional plugin. So let's click on this and then activate. And this will work for Elementor and Gutenberg, by the way. So there's no preferences here either. So I'm just going to open an Elementor page. So we go into pages, all pages. And then let's open one I created already, which is called Grid Builder here. Edit with Elementor. Okay, now we can insert our grid system. As you can see, we have a section here, full width section, but you can insert a container. It doesn't matter really, you know. So let's look for our widget. And as you can see, we have all of these ones here. So you can insert products, you can insert blog post, you can insert any type of content from your website. So we have Post Grid Builder and Terms Grid Builder. So what's the difference between the two? Well, it's basically the type of content that you can insert. With Terms Grid Builder, you can insert product categories. With Post Grid Builder, you can insert products all together. So you have to play around with this and find out which is which. But let's pick one here just at random. Okay, so let's start with this one here. So basically, once you have this inserted here, you can select the post type. Okay, so if we click on this, you can select the different products. If you have an e-commerce website, you can select different posts. If you have a blog post, this is not a blog post, this is an e-commerce platform. If you click on pages, you can even insert different types of pages. So again, as you can see, you can select different types of content based on your different requirements. So let's select those we're going to insert. So let's select a few here, okay, just like this, maybe there you go, and then select. And there you go. As you can see now, it's inserting this immediately on our page. But we have our grid system here, as you can see in the back end. So you can define your grid system. So a number of columns, we have 24 here at the moment, but you can increase that or maybe reduce that to be maybe a bit less. So this is really up to you. And once you have your items and you hover on top, you can click on it and then you can reduce that the size if you wanted to, you know. So you can make this one a bit smaller, maybe this one as well a little bit smaller, and maybe this one as well. Okay, so let's go ahead with those three here, and then you can resize them all together whichever way you want, basically, you know. So let's make this one a bit smaller as well. Now you can change the position anywhere you want. So maybe this one is slightly smaller as well next to this one here, and so on. And you can have a very unusual layout which will stand out, obviously, you know. This is a bit quirky, but it's very nice as well. So this is basically how you can do this with products. Now if I delete this one now, and let me show you the other one. So if you go back and look for grid again, let's go to the grid terms builder this time. Okay, so let's paste it here. And now the difference between those two, like I said, is this one you can select the product tags and product categories. So now depending on the type of elements that you want to insert on your grid, you'll have to select one or the other. So that's basically it, guys. That's how this works. So on Jet Popup, as you can glean from the name, again, it's a stylish pop-up builder for Elementor, so you can create beautiful, trendy pop-ups to tease your visitors into buying something, maybe register online, or whichever action you want. You can show them maybe a special discount code, etc., etc. So let me show you how this works. So if you go back to the backend, you have Jet Popup here. So you have all your pop-ups and you have the preset library. So basically you can use the preset library, which will save you a lot of time. They are beautifully designed and everything, or you can create everything from scratch. So let's create one from scratch together first. And then from here, all you have to do is create a new pop-up. and you can select the position. So basically you can have the classic one, so bang on in the middle, maybe on the, it will slide in on one of the sides, maybe on top, maybe full view or full width, so whichever you want, you know. So let's select the classic view for now, and let's create our pop-up. And as you can see, it will open an Elementor page, and from here you can design whatever you want. So as you can see here, we have a header, we have a text section, we have call to action button, etc, etc. So again, this is the way you can use it and design it from scratch. Now let's go back to our WordPress dashboard, and let me show you the preset library, which is, again, like I said, probably the easiest way. So you can select among different options here. As you can see, of the contact form. So maybe your pop-up is going to show up and you want your visitors to register or contact you. Maybe you want to use this for privacy policies, or maybe to display GDPR rules, or maybe discount codes, etc, etc. So let's go ahead with discount, because it's probably the most popular one for an e-commerce website, for instance. And you can see you have all these beautifully designed ready-made templates for you to use. And just for the discount section, we have 5 pages of ready-made templates. Now, as you can see, some of them have a small icon here. That means that you need Jet element to be installed, and this one doesn't require any additional plugin to be installed. So if you wanted to import any of those, okay, with the Jet element icon next to it, make sure if you go to Crocoblock update and installation that Jet element is enabled along with a Jet pop-up, okay? So let's go back here and let's import one. So let's go ahead, maybe let's say this one here, okay? So all you have to do is just to click install, then click OK. And just like that, we have our coupon code that's been redesigned for us. And all you have to do from here is basically edit the content. So if you click on this, you have the headline. So instead of 20% off, you can change this maybe to 15% off or 20% off. You can change the font as well if you wanted to, you know. Now we have the coupon code here. Obviously, this is not going to be 20 ABS off. It might be something else. So it could be XYZ 1234, you know. And then you have an image here. So the image was not imported for us. That's fine. You can just add your own, or you can remove it all together. That's really up to you, you know. So you can do with or without it. So let's add an image here on our own. So let's select maybe this one here, insert image. There you go. Very nice, you know. And this is basically how you can design your pop-up using Elementor. So basically you can be creative is here, you know, do whatever you want. And now you need to set up a rule. So what's the trigger? When do you want to show this pop-up, on which page, and what are the conditions? So for this, we're going to go to this settings here. So you have a small gear here, click on this, and you go to settings. As you can see, you have animation, open event, etc, etc, okay? So as you can see here, the animation, vertical flip, fade, zoom in and zoom out. So this is basically the display animation when it comes up and shows on your screen, whichever you want to select, you know. So if you have rotate, for instance, it will rotate. It would look something like this, and then you might have vertical flip. There you go. So you can play around with these, you know, these are very nice effects. But the most important part is the open event. So when do you want to show this? On page load, inactive time after a few seconds, page scroll. So basically those are different type of actions, okay? So let's explain each one of them. So on page load, or basically when they open the page, it will show up immediately. Inactivity time after, and then you can define a few seconds. So if you click on this, as you can see, user inactivity time. So this is in seconds. So let's say if I was to set this to 15 seconds, if someone lands on your page, they're scrolling and browsing through that page, after 15 seconds, it will show up. And then we have page scroll in percentage. So once you scroll down the page, you can define once they reach maybe 20% of that page, maybe more, maybe 50%, then it will show up. And then we have try to exit. So basically, if I'm on this page and I reach out to the X here to X out of that page, it will then show up. This is very nice as well to catch someone's attention and tell them, oh, wait a second, before you leave, you might be interested in this and this special offer. We have on date. So basically, if you want to limit this only for a specific period of time, maybe only from the 20th of the month, and that's basically it. On time is the same principle, is just by hours. So maybe between 9 to 5 during your opening hours or something like this. And then you can have also custom selector click. in which case you would add the CSS ID of the element on which they click on, okay? And that's basically it. And then here you have a few additional options that are very handy, you know. You might have the disable page scrolling, show once. So this is, I think personally, I like that because I don't want to be bombarded with pop-ups. So if someone lands on your website, it pops up first time, okay, fair enough. I close it, I'm not interested, I don't want to see it again. I think this is a very nice feature. Again, this is really up to you, but I would highly recommend that you use this. But again, it's a matter of choice, you know. But the nice thing here, you can show it again, but maybe 6 hours later, or 12 hours later, or maybe the next day, and so on and so on. So maybe it will only show up once a day, you know, in which case it's not too overpowering, it's not too in your face, in which is very nice for the visitor's experience as well. And then you can also enable loading content with Ajax. So Ajax doesn't need any page reload, and you can have the force loading as well. So every time you're going to land on your page without even having to reload the page, it will show up. And then you have the display conditions. So if you click on this, you can set additional rules. So for instance, you can display this on a specific page, or maybe just on the contact page, on the checkout page, etc., etc. So if you add a condition here, as you can see, include or exclude, so you can include pages or exclude pages. So include, and you have entire site at the moment, but you can select, for instance, a single page or an archive page only, or advanced mode. So let's go for single page, and then you can select which page. So we have the front page. As you can see, I only have one page here, is the home page, that's all. But if you had multiple pages, you'd be able to select it here. And then you have the advanced mode as well. So basically here you can enter the URL itself and even some additional strings to limit the choice based on the search results as well. And once you're done, basically all you have to do is click save, and that's you all set with your pop-up. So with Jet Style Manager, you'll be able to manage the level of control you want to give about styling features on your website. So for instance, if you have several administrators or maybe editors on your website, and let's say you've designed the website fully and everything is in place, it looks beautiful, and you don't want anyone to mess about with those settings. So you can easily set this up using Jet Style Manager. So by default, if you go to your Elementor page, as you can see, you've designed your page, it looks beautiful, like we said. And if you go into the styling feature, you have all these different options, box, content, meta, depending on the type of widget, obviously, you know. And as you can see, with all these different settings, and you spent maybe hours configuring this perfectly and have it just about right. Now, obviously, you don't want anyone to mess with this, so you can limit the level of control your admin and editors have over this. So for this, you go back to your WordPress dashboard, and from here we go to Crocoblock and then Jet Plugins Settings. And then you're going to select which of those items you're working on. So this is part of a Jet blog. So if I click on this, this is part of the Jet blog, okay? So we go here into Jet blog, and we go into general settings. Now you can do this with any of them, obviously, you know, any of those widgets that you can using, any plugins. And as you can see here, we have the editor load level. So it goes from full to none. So see what happens now if I set this to none. As you can see now, it's saved. We go back to our WordPress page here and refresh. So we have the styling feature here, everything is there. And now if we click on our widget again, as you can see now, there is no styling tab at all, it's gone altogether. So this could be used as a safety feature if you give access to your customers, so they could change maybe the content itself, but not the styling feature. So now let me show you here if you were to select maybe low. Okay, so let's refresh now again. Okay, very good. So let's click on our widget. And as you can see, we do have styling features, but it's very limited. As you can see, you can only change the colors here. That's all, colors. Okay, very basic features. So with Jet Theme Core, you will have full control over the outcome of your front end. So you have control over the header, the body section, and the footer section as well. So if you scroll down the page, as you can see, this is giving you all these different options. So you can select what type of page, you can create rules as well, and then you can define whether or not you want to display the footer section, for instance, the main header, and so on and so on. Okay, so let me show you very quickly how this works. So we have our sample website here. So this one, we have the logo, the menu section, the content of our page, And right at the bottom here, we have the footer section, okay? So let me show you how you can tweak this around. So let's say if you didn't want to have this one here on the home page, you wanted to change this, you can set the rule very easily in the backend. So if you go back here, from here we go to Crocoblock, and then we go to Theme Builder. And from here you can create as many templates as you want, almost one per page if you wanted to, okay? So let's create one together here. So the first thing you can do is to add conditions. You can or not, it's up to you. It's not mandatory, obviously, you know, but let's create this together just for the home page. Okay, so we have include or exclude. So we can include a page or exclude a specific page. So what do we select here? Entire website, maybe advanced, singular, or archive. So let's select one single page for now, and let's select the home page. Okay, so we're just going to apply this to the home page. Now you can have the advanced mode as well, in which case you can have specific URL or devices or roles even, you know, and then you can insert your parameters here. So again, let's select just one page and the home page. So let's create this together. Very good. So this is where you can tweak things around a little bit. So we can add our header. So you can create your own template right from here. So a brand new one altogether, or you can select for your library. So if you've created the template already, it will fetch information right here. So let's click on this. As you can see, we have our header home here. So we're going to use this one. The body will remain the same, and we're going to add our footer. So again, we're going to select from the existing library. So yeah, let's use, okay? So now that this is in place, let's go back to our home page and let's refresh. And as you can see, there are no changes whatsoever. It's the same header, and we're going to normally we have the same footer as well, exactly the same, okay? Now let's go back to our settings here and let's change our header. So we can remove this one and let's add a new one. So add from library, and this time I'm going to select a different one here, okay? So let's use, very good. And now let's go back to our home page and let's refresh. And now as you can see, we have a different header altogether. This one is one with a white background. So this is how easily you can customize basically your layout using this feature. Now a very nice application for this plugin is especially for the menu section, because depending on the device that you're going to use, as you can see here, if it's a mobile menu, you can design it specifically for mobiles. If it's for tablets, you can design it specifically for tablets and laptops and desktop PCs as well. As you can see, the menu section here that's been designed on their website is mainly for desktop PCs. Now, if you were to display this on a mobile phone, it will have to look totally different. It has to be more user-friendly and display maybe in more manageable chunks, in which way you can then design specific templates for the different devices, which makes it a very nice application for this plugin.